I Got the Hell Out does contain explicit content that might not be suitable for some listeners, such as children, those that easily get offended, and we do recommend that listeners at work put your earbuds in if you have coworkers around.
And if you like the show, please spread the word by telling as many people as you can. Would also appreciate if you would subscribe, rate, hopefully with 5 stars, and review the podcast on iTunes. You can find us there as well as on Stitcher and Overcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Was In A Cult, on Facebook at I Got The Hell Out, and on Instagram at I Got The Hell Out with an underscore after each word. You can contact us through our website at IGotTheHellOut.com.
Hi, guys.
Hi, this is Laura.
And it's Debbie, and it's another episode of I Got the Hell Out. And this is episode number 29, Laura.
Yep. Almost to 30.
29 is right before 30.
Shut up, smartass.
Our KoolAid recipe today comes from Allie N, and she dedicated it just to you.
Aww.
She named it the Bee's Knees, and it's 1 part gin, 1 part lemon juice, and honey to taste. And she forgot to put the KoolAid in, so she's gonna have to get with us. We used lemonade KoolAid to cut the lemon juice.
It works.
So, but yeah, I wrote that down completely without realizing there was no KoolAid in it.
Well, that's why we added it.
Exactly. And yeah.
And we have every flavor of KoolAid here, so.
Yes.
Well, the packets are what, like 10 cents a packet for the little unsweetened ones?
No, they're
like
a quarter now.
Quarter, 10 cents, whatever.
They're a quarter.
So we have like a whole bowl full of them.
Nice.
So, yeah. So we added the lemonade one. So, very good.
Thank you. Very good. That's Allie N.
Thank you, Allie.
The first thing I have to say is culty corrections and updates, okay?
Go for it.
They did not
And
move
the dog's
big
barking.
They did not move the big gates, okay?
What?
Yeah, and
What did they move? Anything?
And you know, I know Little Man and the culty people and Kenny and everybody's probably laughing because of what I said, you know, about them moving the gates. Ha ha ha. Well, Laura, if that's the only thing that they can laugh about, you know, they got some pretty serious
Who the hell cares?
problems.
Let them laugh.
But they got some pretty serious problems. Like, you know, the dude with the lamb's blood, that's what you choose to laugh about.
Right.
So, yeah, I made one mistake because I didn't fact check before I said anything.
And you're owning up to it. Big deal. Who cares?
But, yeah, I was contacted by somebody who still lives down there, and they were like, what? And they actually got in their car and they drove.
No.
Yeah, they did. They drove down the road. Because I says, well, maybe I misunderstood the person and they didn't move the big gates, but they have a smaller gate there.
Okay.
And she says, I'll be right back. And she came back about 15 minutes later. And she says, no, there's no gate there of any kind. So, yeah, you know. So I will be more diligent in my fact checking when I do stuff. So.
How dare you?
I know. I messed up. But, yeah, I thought that would give, you know, them a little laugh.
Oh, let them chuckle.
Little laugh.
We're still laughing at his, was it Dingleberries or?
Oh, no.
Gibbles and Bits.
No, everybody on Facebook is calling him Old Hangy Balls. That's his new nickname, Old Hangy Balls.
Old Hangy Balls.
Old Hangy Balls. Oh, you're killing me.
Oh God, I can't get that visual out of my mind.
I need eye bleach. I can't visualize it. I will need
God.
eye bleach.
Oh God, I just picture him sitting on this toilet with this big extender on it.
He's got a squatty potty probably.
Oh my God.
That way his little feet aren't dangling.
I'm just picturing him with his feet dangling on the toilet.
No, he's got a squatty potty. That way he doesn't have to dangle.
A little step stool.
Yeah.
Little step stool.
Squatty potty.
Oh my God.
I'd like to congratulate Paige S. for our 613th member on Facebook.
Magic number 613.
Oh my gosh, me and you discussed this when we first started doing this, and I go, can you imagine getting up to that number, and how am I going to feel about this person on Facebook? And, you know, I kept getting closer and closer. I had to say in my head, I'm going to turn this into a positive thing.
There you go.
And it made Paige really, really happy. She was on a road trip when she found out. She was like, squee! And
Yay!
She sent me her address, but it's been a really busy week. And I'm sorry, your stuff will go out Monday. I'm working on that, as always.
We're always working on something.
Hey, you know what? I'm a procrastinator, but if stuff still gets done, then apparently procrastination is really not a problem.
Right.
If it still gets done,
right.
You know, it's not like I have to catch an airplane. Now, you can't be a procrastinator trying to catch an airplane.
No. Try explaining that at the gate.
Yeah, as your airplane's already taken off.
Yeah, not going to happen.
And an ex-member thought it would be fun to look up on Urban Dictionary, Kohan, Kohan.
What was that again?
Kohan, that means they're judges.
Oh, okay, that's right.
The priestly, royally judges or something
so they
like
looked
that.
it up on Urban Dictionary, and what did it say?
It's a name for someone who is super cool and gets a lot of girls. And I thought she was joking me, and I texted her back. I'm like, "Are you shitting me, or is this what the actual thing says?" And she's like, "No, that's what it actually says."
Oh my gosh!
But she says, Urban Dictionary is like Wikipedia. It's crowdsourced. It's slang words and phrases.
Urban Dictionary is great.
Well, but I could go in and change it to whatever I want.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, it's just like Wikipedia.
Okay,
and remember,
know.
Wikipedia you're not supposed to use as a source, and the cult used them as a source in the last booklet.
They did for global warming.
I even had somebody tell me that in college they were specifically told that if they used Wikipedia as a source, they were losing credit because it's just not credible.
Right, it's a place to start.
It's a place to start, yes. And I had another ex-member told me that that the cult actually started the Wikipedia page about themselves, and it kind of backfired because now it's got all these cited sources for all of the news articles and things that they're mentioned in, and maybe they just can't keep up enough to keep the bad stuff off. I don't know.
Oh no.
Oh no, Mr. Bill.
Oh no, sucks to be them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Let me do the patrons we have. I forgot to do it last week.
Oh, okay.
So this week we are giving a great big thank you to Catherine, Laura, Eileen, Aaron, Sarah, and our newest one we just got today is Kathy. So thank you guys very, very much for being patrons. And if anybody else would like to help contribute to the show to help with our costs, because every month it does, it costs.
We send you something.
Well, we send you something. So yeah, it's on Patreon, and we would really appreciate it. And if you don't, that's cool too. All
right then.
What do you have now?
Everybody who wants to go with you to the Scientology place here in Pittsburgh, I'll drive, but I'm not going in, guys. I'll make sure y'all get out eventually. I'll be waiting there as your ride. I'll be, cruising Facebook, answering questions, whatnot. Yeah, and we are supposed to have a Pittsburgh meetup sometime. Yes. Roll P is also in Pittsburgh with us, and she was the one that suggested that we should have a meetup. We had a previous meetup, and there's 2 Pittsburgh podcasts, The Working Stiff, and I think the one we're going to advertise.
Do a promo, right.
For tonight. Maybe we could do a threesome, Well, not that way. Like a threesome podcast.
I'm going to pass on that one.
Well, no, we could have a get together where all 3 podcasts can get together.
Right, that would be cool.
And that way we would have a bigger audience, and we could do a meet and greet with the other 2 Pittsburgh podcasts.
And they could show us how to use more than one microphone.
Exactly. And maybe record little tiny interviews I could do throughout the week.
That would be cool.
That would be maybe something that plugs into my phone, like a gigabyte thing, or I don't know what I'm talking about.
I think they do have a mic you can plug into your phone.
Well, I'm going to be talking to people that are in other states away.
Oh, yeah. I don't.
Because remember, me retelling stuff just isn't working out at this point.
Right,
I want to be able to do little mini episodes, 5, 10, 15 minutes with somebody who has something to say, and we can just throw our 4th track into here.
Yeah, we're going to have someone help us with that.
Well, we'll get there if it's meant to be.
That's right.
If
but
it's
that
meant to
meetup
be.
would be a good idea. We are going to have one. It's just a matter of when.
And I'm leaving that up to you of when you're going to do it and where it's going to be. I would like it to be closer to my house, please.
Well, it's going to be close to us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in downtown Pittsburgh. No.
It'll be out this way.
Okay.
Like out maybe Robinson.
Something like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Well, we'll keep people.
We'll figure something out.
We'll keep people updated on that.
We will figure something out.
Let's see.
Do you have anything else?
I have a bunch of stuff. Talked to a real nice guy named Justin, and I almost didn't let him in the Facebook group because the way his 3 names go, it looked like he was making a play on he's a Justin Bieber believer type dude. And I found that really odd. And he was quoted as saying that little bastard ruined my good name.
Oh no!
So I don't know how everybody feels about Justin Bieber, but yeah, Justin, you don't like the guy.
Over with?
I have no idea, but can you
Like-
imagine having a perfectly good name and somebody like
Some
suddenly
little
hits
twit like that.
hits stardom? And he actually had like girls trying to friend him on because they
no.
thought that he was like actually the Justin.
I would have had fun with that.
Well, one girl sent like a 13-year-old girl or something sent like the phone number or something, and he's like, "No, I've had enough of this," and like, yeah,
Oh
he
my
started just
gosh.
rejecting people left and right. And sorry, dude, you got a cool name. I let you in. We had a good talk. And Brandon, I will make you a priority to be a guest when I figure out how to do that. Feel free to call me. Aren't you in IT, dude? Doesn't IT know how to do that
Yeah,
stuff?
that's what my brother does.
Well, then why isn't your brother helping us?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm gonna be so on him on Tuesday.
There you go.
I'll
Start
be
bitching at him.
here and there on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So Paul, I'm coming for you. You really should
He doesn't
listen to
listen.
it.
He doesn't
I
listen.
know he doesn't listen. He should. He'd be forewarned. And I'm pretty much sure that's about all I have for the
corrections
corrections
whatever.
and stuff like that. So I mean, we got other stuff to get into.
Okay. Do you want me to start with the stuff that we have for this week?
What do we have for this week?
Well, we're always talking about what the women wear, like the scarves, the napkins, everything the women have to
They're
wear.
veils, Laura. They have a fancy name for them. They're veils.
Well, speaking of fancy names, we're going to talk about what the men wear. Especially, is it all the men or the elders? It's all the men, right?
It's everybody who's all of the male counterparts who are baptized.
Again, what age do you get baptized?
Well, you're supposed to put a kippah on a baby's head as soon as you can make it stay on there. So like newborns, it's real easy to stick it on the baby's head and it doesn't move.
Okay.
But then as the baby gets older, they're swatting at it and
Gotcha.
and some babies had very fine hair, so you couldn't put the clips in their hair, and some of them were just a losing battle.
Okay. Now, a kippah is similar to a yarmulke.
Yes.
Okay.
Why they call it different, I'm not sure.
Okay. Because it says in the book here that kippah is worn by all men and as it is a sign of obedience to God.
Okay.
And it also says the kippah is made of pure linen.
Every holy garment is made in pure linen out there.
Okay,
Even even the thread to sew it. Well, it's a
Oh,
sin.
really?
It's a sin to mix materials to begin with. And apparently linen is the stuff in the Bible that you're supposed to use to make holy garments.
Oh.
It
all
probably says in that book somewhere.
Okay.
Are we back to the children's book?
We're back to the children's book.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But it doesn't say that in here. It just says they are to be made of linen. Okay.
Completely and utterly of linen. And if you wanted to embroider on them, like I have one downstairs that I started to embroider on.
Okay.
You had to get linen embroidery thread.
Wow.
Because you can't mix.
So they're not messing around.
No, you can't mix. It's actually biblical. You're not supposed to mix different, like cotton and wool or polyester. And well, not that they had polyester back then, but you're not supposed to wear clothes of mixed blends.
That's really weird. I wonder why.
Because God said so, Laura. Don't
Okay.
question God.
Okay. That's just really weird.
Don't question God.
Okay. So now it says this chapter here is called, and I know I'm going to butcher these words, the Tallit with a Tzitzit.
Yep, you got it.
And I thought I'm reading a Dr. Seuss
I was going
book.
to say it almost sounds like Dr. Seuss, doesn't
sound
it?
Yeah, the Tallit with a Tzitzit.
Yes.
Okay.
I always called it zit zit and always wanted to go pop pop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right, let's move on. It says, okay, first of all, what is a Tallit? What is a Tallit?
It's a big, long rectangle of linen that has to be sewn a certain way.
But is it like a scarf? Is
It's like a big cape.
Oh, okay.
It's a big cape that the guy puts on.
Okay.
And then the two ends of it that come down his arms is the strings that they have to hold on to and put their thumbs through.
Okay.
And wrap them around their fingers a certain way.
Is that the Tzitzit?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're not, are they all one material? Are they all one piece or are they two pieces?
The actual tallit is one piece of linen and it's folded certain ways and then it's sewn. By the way, I used to work in the sweatshop doing this.
Oh, we'll get to stories of that.
Yeah, but the women were not good enough because they took the linen thread then.
Okay.
And there's so many threads that you have to thread through each of the 4 holes because there's one hole in each corner of the tallit.
Okay.
Like you make a buttonhole.
Gotcha.
And then the priest has to take so many of the white strings and so many of the blue strings, and then they macrame. I always thought it was so funny.
It's so
that
funny.
the elders macrameed these little knots and things onto the ends of the tallit. And there was actually a special way that you were supposed to wrap it around your hands and fingers.
Well, it says right here that understand how each tzitzit on the tallit is tied. This is Dr. Frickin' Seuss, I swear to God. The word fringe in Deuteronomy indicates the fringe is twisted.
Okay.
So that's your macrame you're talking about?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You're the one that was...
I didn't do that part. The elders macrameed the blue and white strings on.
Okay, so then it says that there's some kind of pattern that the twists are done in?
Yes, it's macrame.
Okay. God, this is insane. Like, anyone's supposed to understand what the hell this means. The tzitzits are tied using 8 threads and 5 knots.
Yes.
The twists are made with a cord of blue.
Yes.
The word tzitzit has the numerical equivalent of 600.
Yes.
Adding this to the number of the 8 threads and 5 knots will equal the number
My
613.
lovely, lovely number.
What the hell is all that?
Well, it's supposed to, because the way the men put the tallit on, you slide your thumbs through the whole, I don't even know how to.
Well, there's a picture here. I think we can post that. Is
Right.
that good enough of a picture?
Right. But the way they have that, you're supposed to, you are embodying the perfect 600, Creator's 613 perfect laws in your hands. And you're being covered and shielded with the tallit from the evil around you, or something to that effect.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So while you're praying and doing all your stuff, you're holding on to 613.
On each hand.
On each hand.
Yeah.
Which really isn't 613. That's like what?
I don't know.
1200 and
I don't even
or something?
I don't even pretend to understand these things anymore, because, well, listen, you have 4 of them on there. Because you got 2 on the top where you hold on, and 2
on the bottom.
On the bottom, that's kind of flop and drag on the ground.
I just think it's hysterical. They're sitting around doing macrame.
And it's the elders that do it, because the women ain't good enough.
Oh my God. But you were in the sweatshop though.
Well, the sweatshop was your own house.
Okay.
If you owned a sewing machine, you could be part of the sweatshop brigade.
Okay. So you owned a sewing machine.
Well, actually, I didn't own a sewing machine, and I had borrowed a really crappy one from somebody.
Okay.
And my grandma found out, so she sent me a sewing machine.
Aw.
Yeah, I love you, Grandma.
Aw. So what all did you make?
I made the kippas,
Okay.
and I made the headscarves for the women, and I made the tallits.
Okay. I'm trying to get all this crap straight. Okay.
And you would sew them, and they have to be perfect. They have to be perfect. And I should have...
What happens if you screw one up? Like, it's like, maybe
if
like...
you screw it up,
the hem is a little bit off.
they'll give it back to you to redo.
Oh, will they now?
But if you screw it up, like, say your sewing machine actually accidentally goes ballistic, and it chews up the piece of linen that you're working on...
Right.
You have to pay for that as if it was a finished product.
What?
Yeah. And, like, the kippas came in 3 sizes: small, medium, and large.
Okay.
Okay. And I think it was 50, 60, 50, 55, and 60 cents you got paid for making each kippa.
50 cents?
Yeah. And you could make one correctly, because they were really freaking hard, because they're round.
Right.
And they have to be perfect. And it would take you darn near 45 minutes to an hour to make one of them. So that's how they figure in, like, the tallits. Those you got paid $8 to $10 for. But those
are the Superman capes.
Yeah, but those took you a good 6 to 8 hours to make.
Whoa.
Because you had to do it by a specific set of measurements, rules, folds, the whole 9 yards. It had to be specific.
That sounds like a royal pain in the ass.
It was a royal pain in the ass. And that is actually what got me into my biggest trouble ever there.
Oh, do tell.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. I need a sip of beer first.
Okay, take your sip of beer. So you were here, or you're at your sweatshop, which is your house, right?
Yes.
Okay, you're working away on your tallit.
Working away on this tallit, and I'm thinking, this is the stupidest freaking way to do this. Stupidest way. There is so much easier way to do this.
Okay.
So I did it the easier way.
Of course you did.
Well, you have to, like, you're working with 4 different edges, and linen is very hard to work with to begin with, okay? It shifts a lot. It's hard to work with. And a tallit they were different sizes, but it's a big, huge rectangle. And you have to fold it like an inch in, and then you have to iron that inch.
Oh, okay.
And then you have to fold it so that it equals exactly an inch. So you've got the double fold on there. Then you're supposed to run your sewing machine up both edges of that double fold.
Okay.
Okay. And other things on this the way it was supposed to be made. And I just thought it was the stupidest directions. After I did 1 or 2 of them, I'm like, oh, there's an easier way to do this.
Okay. So did it turn out?
It did. It turned out. And as I soon learned, you watched what you said to who you said it to.
Oh, because you told someone like, hey, I got this done in half the time.
There was a friend of mine that, yeah, she sewed with me. Well, not with me, but anyway, I told her about this nifty, do it in about half the time. And she actually went and turned me in.
Oh.
And it wouldn't have been, I guess, that much of a big deal, except when you made the holy garments, you were given tags, okay? Like a garment tag.
Like
a washable garment
wash
tag.
Only or
Yes.
Machine wash?
Yeah, the tag actually says, hold on.
But you have one there?
I have one here, and the reason I have this one is because I actually made this one. Because on the tag it says, the cult official holy garment.
Well, nice.
Yeah, official holy garment has a picture of the little building on it.
I thought you were going to say the little man.
No, picture of the little building. And on the back it says, dry, clean, hand wash, or delicate cycle only. Cold water, non-chlorine bleach, line dry only. And then you see there's a little line there.
Yep.
And it has my 3 initials and a number after it.
Ah.
This signifies I made this garment.
Ah, I gotcha.
And
so if it's messed up, they know who to blame.
If it's messed up, they know who to blame. So they went in search of, because I do believe that the Tallits and the bigger headscarves, they may have kept track of who did them, because I may have gotten paid $8 to $10, but they're selling these Tallits for like $150, $50. Yeah. Because linen's expensive, Laura.
Oh my gosh.
Linen was very expensive back in the 90s. Come on.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what they're selling them for now. And imagine you have to buy one every time, a gold one, a purple one.
Oh my God.
Anyway, they got a hold of one of the Tallits that I had did my way.
But it looked right.
Yes.
Okay.
Until you held it up to the light and you could see that the one fold wasn't sewn in the right way.
Okay.
But you had to hold it up to the sun to see it.
But I mean, if some guy was wearing it, there's no way you could tell.
He'd probably have been wearing it for 4 or 5 months.
Okay. So, but your friend found out and then they looked at it, or?
No, she turned me in.
Okay.
I didn't just tell her immediately I found a new way to do it.
Okay.
Okay. And, she was complaining because that was her spending money. She got nothing else, but that was her spending money for making these holy garments. So she was
pissed off that you were getting more.
No, because they took so long to make.
Okay.
You never knew who was making what amount.
But why would she not just be like, hey, yeah, it sounds good to me, I'm going to do that?
Because she was Mrs. Righteous.
Ah, okay.
And it was her duty to turn me in.
Okay.
So, yeah, you never feel as good as you've ever felt when they make an announcements during a feast, because that's where everybody is.
Is that when his shit hit the fan?
Well, that's when they made the announcements that to please check all of your holy garments. If it's labeled with these 3 initials in this number, please bring them to the South office for inspection.
Oh my God. Did you just like shit your
I
pants?
shit myself because I had no idea that was even coming.
Oh my.
And I got taken aside after services and let known that any holy garments that came back,
God.
I would be spending the rest of my feast fixing them and fixing them correctly.
Oh my God.
I spent that entire feast fixing shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Do you remember how many there were?
there was a lot. I don't know.
Oh
I don't
my
even know if
God.
all of them were not. I mean, people were bringing their headscarves back going, it's not square anymore. Well, if you've had it for 3 years.
Right, exactly.
And you've
been
washed
washing
it.
Right.
It's not going to keep its square shape. And, I fixed a lot of stuff.
Oh my God. I could just picture that feeling whenever like they announced the tag that you knew was yours.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's like
Oh my God. You had to like completely shit your pants.
I did. It's like, being in the store and there, you know your license plate number and they announce your car's on fire in the parking lot, Yeah, that was probably the crappiest thing I had to do. I mean, it wasn't disgusting. And on top of it, I had volunteered to hand embroider. And I don't know how, I guess this was back before you could still do it. It was gold thread. But I couldn't have been linen because it was too early. It was back in the early 90s.
Ooh, they were mixing materials.
I don't know. They could have claimed it was linen. I don't know. But I was good at embroidery, so I was supposed to embroider a matching men's kippah and a women's headscarf with real fancy gold embroidering on them, and they were to be auctioned off.
Okay.
And I had just finished up the women's headscarf, and it had taken me a good 8 or 9 hours over 2 days to do just the border on that. And I went to snip the thread, and I snipped a tiny hole into the head covering.
No.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So at that point, I went, oh, shit. Because, of course, I got Tallits to fix. Come on.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So I decided to work in a little extra thing on the corners.
I was just going to say, couldn't you cover it up somehow with some thread?
I was trying to do that, and another sister walked over and went, what are you doing? It's beautiful like it was. And then she went, oh, you put a hole in it. And at that point, I'm going, fuck. And she goes, it can't have a hole in it. It has to be perfect. And I'm like, in my head, I'm screaming, shut up.
Right.
So, yeah, I actually spent my entire feast fixing things, and I had to do the out-of-towners first.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, I spent quite a few days after the feast fixing in-towner stuff. So, yeah.
The look on your face right now.
It wasn't fun.
Oh, my God.
And then, then the punch in the stomach from realizing my friend turned me in because she's the only person I told. Even like my husband didn't know that I was doing something differently that I shouldn't have been. And yeah, that's kind of like when you say hi to the person and wave, but you don't really talk to them anymore.
Right.
So, and I'm pretty sure she had to have known it was her that's why they were reading my numbers over the microphone.
Oh my God. And she was probably all happy. I mean, because wasn't that like part of your duty to turn somebody in?
Yeah, if they're breaking the law, you're supposed to turn people in. And it's just like any place. Like if there's a homeowners association, there's always that little old lady walking around with a ruler checking how tall people's grass is.
Right.
It's November 1st, and she has a list of 5 names because someone still has a pumpkin on their porch from the night before.
Right,
right. Yeah, there were some people out there that would just look to turn. I mean, I went to my friend's house, and she asked me to get the kids a snack. And I opened a refrigerator and pulled out the crisper drawer, and lo and behold, there's like a shit ton of string cheese.
Ooh.
And I was like kind of shocked at first. And she stiffened because I guess she realized...
Oh shit, I shouldn't have that.
Like oh crap, I shouldn't have asked her to go get the kids a snack.
Right.
And I'm like, you realize you got all this string cheese in here? And she's like, oh yeah, I just forgot to throw it out, leave it there. And in my head, I'm going, well, wait a minute. We haven't been able to eat string cheese for like at least 4 or 5 months. She had 3 children.
Right.
That was a crap load of string cheese in there. Like, she had just gone shopping, and
Were you like, can I have some?
no, because I really thought she kind of forgot it was in there, but then I found the snack pack pudding on top of it. And all I got out of her was, man, I really need to get in here and clean my cabinets out, don't I?
Hey, sounds like a good alibi, right?
The funny stories we swap now that we're out and both out, and she's like, oh, hell yeah, I had stuff hidden all over the place, and, here I am, I just happened to come across 2 of the 5 hiding spots of stuff that the kids, snack on, but they're not allowed to have.
Now, what would happen if the kids were like, yeah, that pudding I had yesterday was really good?
They wouldn't say anything, they'd be told not to say anything.
Okay, and they would listen? You know how some kids, don't say anything, and they're just like, yeah.
Cult life is very different life. Just imagine this, Laura. If you told your little best girlfriend that my mommy gave me pudding, and the very next day all your pudding was gone, and mommy's yelling at you that you will never have pudding again.
Okay.
Don't you think you'd learn your lesson?
Gotcha.
And, I feel so bad for the kids out there because they had to grow up a lot earlier than kids should have to grow up about how to act, what to do, fearing people. My kids didn't even know how to play on a playground when we left there.
Oh my God. That's because you had that rickety piece of crap.
They were past that rickety piece of crap by the time we left, but kids didn't play tag at the cult because you're not supposed to touch people.
Oh, geez.
Because you're transferring DNA and diseases and
that's
uncleanliness.
Right. I thought you were going to say tag is like a god's name or something. That's right. You can't touch people.
No, you're not supposed to touch people.
Right. We don't want little Johnny's DNA.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly. And it just, they didn't know how to play tag.
Oh my God. That's so sad.
They know a lot of stuff now. They do, but...
Oh my God. Could you imagine, leaving and then going to a regular school and everyone's playing tag and you're like, what the hell is this?
I tried to integrate them the few months before school started because we moved to town. I couldn't stay. My mother built a house on our property and it was maybe a half a football field from the trailer that we lived in.
Okay.
And I couldn't stay there. It was a constant battle between me and Ken. Constant battle. And I ended up renting a house in town and I moved. And my son, I had him tested and he was going to 2nd grade and the very first day of school, he threw up in the garbage can in the classroom because the nerves in his stomach were so bad. Because
oh my gosh, poor kid.
School is evil. I had to make my kids lunch up until high school. Because they wouldn't eat the school lunch. Because when the kids were allowed to still go to school, it came over the pulpit to not let your kids eat the school lunch. They're purposely poisoning your children.
Oh my God.
And of course, the kids are in the sanctuary that are still going to school. They took school away right before Jess would have went to kindergarten.
Okay.
So he missed kindergarten first. He missed the first 2 years of school. But he found it very difficult because he had no idea what to do. And here's these kids that have been there since preschool, kindergarten, first grade.
Right.
You really should have your stuff together by 2nd grade.
Right.
And know what you're doing academically and with homework.
Socially, too.
And socially.
Right.
And he really didn't have any of that. I was lucky enough that a friend of mine, hi Turk, she homeschooled her children and she was awesome at it. She ended up getting out of the cult. She has bachelor's degrees and stuff now, and she's just a really strong woman and does a lot of stuff for the community. But she was a really good teacher, and I actually would drop my son off there, and I would pay her to homeschool my kid with her 3 children. And Jessie at least had some socialization with a few other children and what a school... it was her living room, but it was set up like a school atmosphere.
Okay, right.
And they played games, but they did worksheets and coloring and other things. There was another lady that had a small school for the kids from the cult, but you had to pay a lot, and it was more like a daycare.
Oh, okay.
There wasn't and what teaching was going on from the book you're reading from.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of teaching was that. In phonics. Hooked on phonics, don't forget.
Oh my God! Didn't you say they were using that like
Up till 12th grade.
hooked on phonics? If you need hooked on phonics in the 12th grade, something's not right.
All I can tell you is I talked to a sister today that I'm really good friends with, and her sister is still there, last holdout of the family. Mom died there. It's just tragic. And this woman's been there for over 25 years. And she has 7 or 8, 9 kids, and they're all illiterate. So even if this woman wanted out, where she's going with all of these children that range in age from 20 on down to 8 years old, and they've never had other than the cult.
God.
Other than the cult, they've never had a job. I mean, I'm sure they go out to the fields and work and stuff.
Like slave labor.
That's what it's down to, slave
It's
labor.
not a job; it's slave labor.
Well, I'm sure they tell them it's their job.
Right.
They're helping usher in the kingdom, and they're helping feed the masses and everything else. How do we get so way off course? We were talking about Tallits.
I have no idea.
But we were talking about Tallits and how I screwed up.
And Tzitzits and Dr. Seuss and...
Yep.
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 Do you have any more sweatshop stories?
No.
Do you think of any off the top of your head?
No, just the fact that I just kept always trying to figure out a faster way to do it, and it just backfired. And then after I had to fix all that crap, I just had enough. And I don't think I touched my sewing machine since. I said screw it.
I don't blame you.
I think I just said screw it.
I don't blame you.
But I will post a picture of my the back of my tag.
Oh, that's right. We can post that.
Right, because during the feast, you're allowed to spend your second tithe on holy garments and stuff, and a lot of people would go get... Because we sold different sizes, and I forget what the squares were, but the biggest one was like $45 or $50, and it was huge. Headscarf.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I made sure the girl found one in my size that I wanted that was my tag.
Okay. Well, speaking of headscarves from this children's book,
Okay.
It's saying that God has also provided ordained garments for the women to show their submission to the headship and authority that he has placed over the women.
Got to be submissive. Always be submissive.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, man. Let's see here. By giving women this symbol of authority, God is teaching women to have the same humility and submissive attitude towards their heads That's
why they're looking at the ground walking around now. They're just so
that's
submissive.
Right. You said that. Oh, my God. Well, it says here, though, the holy women of old were holy because of their actions, acknowledging the head over them in God, and then submitting to that authority. Let's see here. All women are to wear a headscarf while in the sanctuary, studying or praying. Younger girls should also wear a headscarf.
From the time you're born.
So same thing like with the kippah with the boy.
Yeah.
The headscarf for the girl.
On an infant, you just drape it over their head. A lot of people would, for a baby and a toddler, they would get the bigger, I don't even remember the square sizes, but look, I'm doing this like they can see it.
Right.
But they make it like a do-rag to put on the baby's head.
Oh, okay.
As long as it's tied on the head, or like a bandana. You know how you tie a bandana on your head?
Gotcha.
A lot of people, because little baby girls have such fine hair.
Right.
Even the clips wouldn't hold. So they would make like a bandana or a do-rag. I mean, they were kind of cute on a baby.
Right.
I didn't think they looked cute on me.
Well, they're cute, but like the meaning behind it really kind of sucks.
There was one sister who went on vacation, and I guess she was trying to make it work with her elder husband, but they went to an amusement park, and all of the pictures that she posted to Facebook had her and her daughters all with head coverings on, like bandana, like in do-rag style. And, her sons and her husband didn't have those on. They didn't have their
kippahs on.
No.
Oh, well, but they had to be submissive and wear their crap. That's
what I was wondering I have to ask her. She wasn't feeling well this week, so I wasn't.
Ask her about that.
Yeah.
And then, let's see, what else does it say? The law of submission is very important, which is why we must all give respect to our heads. Those who humbly submit to this law of headship will receive great rewards from God.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. So basically, you need to be submissive because that's what God wants you to do. You'll receive rewards, yada, yada, yada. Keep looking at the ground.
Pretty much.
All right.
Would you like to wear one of my head coverings sometime to see what it feels like?
No.
I'll even show you how to pray and everything.
No, that's good. That's fine.
It might help you out, sometime.
No, that's fine. Oh, but you know what? I don't know what made me think about this. What were those devil bells you have downstairs?
Demon bells.
Yeah, what are those? What did you do with those?
We
can post a picture of those.
The demon bell. Well, at one point they were all into this demon shit, okay? And the feast trailer that me and Kenny ended up with for 10 grand belonged to the elder who was casting out demons. You'd go to this trailer.
Like an exorcist?
Yes! They would have 2 elders lay hands on you and start praying and doing this and that, and they would be casting demons out of people.
How did they decide who needed demons cast out?
I don't rightly remember, but my sister-in-law at the time, I watched them cast the demons out of her, and it was interesting. She was doing like this wiggly thing. Look, I'm doing it again.
Yeah, exactly.
And she said when I talked to her about it afterwards, she said she actually felt demons come out of her, and she felt so much lighter.
What?
Yes. Yes. And
what?
Yeah. They were casting the demons out of her and sprinkling her with the stuff.
Did she ask for that? Or did they say, hey, we think you have demons?
I think her and her husband might have had like marital problems. I don't know.
Because of her with her demons.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. So what did they do with these little dingle bells? these devil bells.
They're demon bells.
Okay. So they're used in their form of an exorcist.
No. Demons don't like the sounds of bells. So
I'm supposed to know this.
So if there's demons lurking around and you're walking towards them, and like the men had them on the bottoms of their tallits so that when they walk they go clink 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 clink.
Get out.
And the women,
so they were like little jingle bells.
Yes. They're only about like a 1/4 inch high. 1/4 to a 1/2 inch high.
So wait. So all the guys are walking around jingling?
Well, the 3 that I have were meant for my headscarf because they go on 3 points of the headscarf.
So everyone's walking around the cult jingling?
Yes.
Why have you never told me this?
Never came.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So it's like just one big jingle.
I even had one of them hippie bracelets that got all the little bell things on it.
Oh my God.
I specifically bought it at the flea market, and you take a step, cha-ching, step, cha-ching, step, cha-ching.
How did I not know there was like all this oh my God.
Well, the 3 little bells for the women's headscarves went on the 3 corners, and demons...
Like a jester.
Yeah. And I never thought about that.
Like a freaking court jester.
I'm going to need another beer soon, Laura. Oh my gosh. Apparently, demons don't like the sounds of bells, and they will flee in front of you if you are jingling them.
Oh my gosh.
Kind of like, I guess, a crucifix or, some garlic. I don't know.
Oh my God. So any demons that might be lurking around, once they hear those bells,
they go running.
Okay.
They go running. Supposedly, they go running. I had a very, very good friend.
Open that beer.
Hold on. I had a very good friend who, I don't even know how she got roped into it, but they were casting the demons out of her in our feast trailer before it was ours, at this elder's trailer, okay? And she said that, like, nothing was happening, and she's sitting there laughing, like, in her head thinking, I don't know what they expected out of me. Well, all of a sudden, because they put when they lay their hands on you, they're have their hands like on your, ooh, I'm too close to the microphone. I'm so sorry.
I blew everyone's eardrums out.
I leaned over to show Laura where I was putting the hand. Anyway, when they realized she wasn't like pretending like to have demons come out and stuff, because there's other people watching.
Okay.
She said that they simultaneously started putting more pressure around her trachea. And that started pressing in, because if you press on your trachea, it causes you to cough.
Yeah.
So when she started coughing, they pressed just a little bit harder, and they claimed that she was coughing up the demons.
No, it's because you were strangling her.
They were pressing on her trachea just enough to irritate it.
Oh, that hurts just you talking about that.
And they're holding you down while they're doing this. So it's, and you're in a flat back chair. So it's not like you just sitting there and they're doing it. They're doing it with you sitting a certain way.
Oh, I just got the chills. That's so creepy.
Yeah, but to this day, she says, I didn't have no damn demons in me. They were choking me.
Yeah, no shit.
But to everybody in the room, they're all cheering because they're driving the demons out of this woman. She was a very outspoken woman.
Can't you just jingle the bells instead?
Not if they're in you.
Oh.
You got to drive them out. They're like a cancer. They get their roots deep inside of you.
Gotcha.
And the longer they've been in there, the more demony they are.
Okay, so if they're just outside lurking around, the bells are good.
Right, they're looking to get inside you. They're waiting for you to sin in order to...
How do they get inside you?
I don't know, but you know how people say God bless you when you sneeze?
Right.
It was thought of in the old days that when you inhaled for that sneeze, you drew the demon in on that breath, and he grabbed on while you sneezed, and then people would say God bless you, and then the demon would have to leave you before he could possess you.
Oh.
That's why people say God bless you. We weren't allowed to say God bless you at the cult because it's pagan.
Right.
I have no idea about these demon things. I'm surprised they didn't accuse me of having demons.
Me too.
In all honesty.
Well, that's because you wore those Jingle Bell bracelets.
It was an ankle bracelet.
Ankle bracelet.
Yes. I'll have to try and find one.
Oh my God. We have to post a picture of those little bells because you have them downstairs.
They're downstairs. I never did sew them on. It was always one of those things I meant to do, but that was never happened.
Oh my God.
And speaking of the demons, okay.
Okay.
Around 07 or 08, 2007, 2008, they started the Shadow of Death.
What?
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, what?
What is that?
They weren't really sure. They were a child member at the time. They're looking into it for me. But they started sprinkling people with ashes and something else.
Ashes from what? A cigarette?
I don't know if she spelled the word wrong or not. I don't know if it was ashes and lye soap or ashes and HYSSOP.
Oh, I don't know how you pronounce it. It's hyssop or hyssop.
Yeah.
It's like a herb.
Okay, that's what they're sprinkling on these people. On your people and belongings to cleanse you of death. And she was telling me that if you didn't, for some reason, get cleansed in time or something, like you were late to the feast or late to services, you got sent to another section of the sanctuary to sit with the lepers.
Why?
I don't know. Because you're
late?
They separate everybody. You didn't get sprinkled in time.
Oh, good Lord.
You didn't get sprinkled in time, Laura.
Oh, well.
So you gotta go. She said they separate everybody. They separate the men. They separate the women. They separate the clean. They separate the unclean.
Ones with menstrual mats.
They separate them. They separate the people who haven't been sprinkled. They separate the elders' wives. They separate everybody.
So, like, is everyone sitting by themselves?
I think you have little cluster groups.
Oh, my Lord.
Watch out for them chairs at the back of the sanctuary that say unclean till sunset with a date on it.
Oh, my God. That magically get clean.
Magically? Maybe they sprinkle it with water and stuff.
Maybe.
They could. You never know.
What else do you have in there? Anything?
I did find a picture of their rocket, which I thought was...
Oh, my God. We just posted that today.
It's comical. It's cartoonish.
It literally...
It looks like a giant firecracker.
It's like something that a first grader would draw. Like if you said, hey, draw me a rocket. That's pretty much what they would draw.
Or on a smaller scale, what a first grader would make for the science fair.
Yeah. It is. It's just, it literally...
It's pathetic. And they have this big-ass sword stuck in the top of it.
Oh my gosh. We have it on Facebook and we also have it on Instagram. So if you guys have not seen it yet, make sure you go on to look at this. It is hysterical.
An ex-member wanted the entire picture to look at because I had to crop everything out. Okay.
Right.
And I sent it to a couple of ex-members, and they were like, oh my gosh, look at all of the crosses in the picture down to that sword at the top is a
It looks like a
cross.
cross, right.
That's a big no-no for the cult.
Right,
Cult,
yeah.
There's no crosses allowed in the cult.
Right, 'cause that's pagan.
So why do they have a cross on top? I mean, are they trying to show that the nuclear thing is pagan by having a...
Ooh, maybe, who knows?
Are they trying to stab the nuclear thing to kill it?
Maybe they're just too dumb to even realize what it is.
I don't know, but like I said, a couple of people asked me for the whole picture. They wanted to see what the compound looked like now, and quite a few people told me that they have turned the sanctuary grounds. They're turning, like I told you, they acquired all this land around it, right?
Right.
When this person left in 2009, they were turning it into a farm that's supposed to be self-sustaining.
Okay.
Everything is supposed to be self-sustaining down to animals, I guess the food, the water. And let's see.
So yeah, so just like a cult.
They have, they've updated the cafeteria. It's a huge ass cafeteria and dining area. Get this, Laura. This might sell you on the cult. For the women, they have their own salon and their own boutique to go to now.
Do they give massages?
I'm not sure. I could try and find out, but come on.
Is it like full service?
It's a boutique.
Oh.
And I think it's a hair salon.
Well, hair salons give massages and manicures and pedicures.
I like scalp massages. Those feel so good.
Those feel really good.
Feel really good. But yeah, you could go to the boutique and the salon.
See if you can get me like one of those price lists from the salon. How funny would that be?
Oh, and they're still making improvements because they want to become a self-sustained community.
Okay.
And not only that, I have to do my research on this, but once you own so many acres, you can proclaim yourself a town.
What?
Yeah. You can proclaim yourself a town.
So they're going to be their own town.
I think that's what they're working on. I got to do my research on it.
Oh, geez.
With their own government and everything else.
Maybe little man will be mayor.
Oh, God. No, he would make himself dictator.
Oh. Mayor, what was it? Mayor Hangy Balls?
Dictator hangy balls.
Dictator. Oh, my God.
They have not only did the men get a new men's only store, you know what else they got?
What?
They got brand new public shower rooms. They no longer had to share the same building with the nasty women.
No.
Yes. See, the public showers and bathrooms.
No, this is for feasts.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for feast. It was one big, long, huge brick building, and each side, one side was men's and one was women's.
Okay.
You would go in through one door, and you'd go past the shower stalls to the bathrooms to the sinks, and out another door to keep traffic flowing.
Okay.
And I guess they decided that men couldn't even share the same building with the women. So,
we don't want that.
And, they couldn't give the women a new shower building, too. No, we'll just give the women the old one and build the men one a nice new one.
Of course.
A nice new one.
Of course, yeah. Why would they give the women anything?
That's what I'm wondering. So, and you know what I find funny, Laura? Little man has always preached that the word church means whorehouse.
Church means whorehouse.
Church means whorehouse, and
Okay.
and you were not allowed to point out that they were, what is it, a 503c, which is a church?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Whatever they are for.
So they're not paying taxes.
No, they don't pay
Oh,
tax.
get out.
You didn't know that?
I don't know if I did or not. I don't think I did.
They're a religious cult. They ain't paying tax shit. They ain't paying jack shit on tax on nothing.
I'm like speechless here. Why did I not?
I have no idea, but just think about everything that they're selling.
Holy
Feast registrations,
crap.
the supplements and the cleanses you're supposed to be doing, the holy garments,
Just everything.
They're going to suck you dry.
Oh my gosh. All those tithes?
Oh. I found out why little man got off on all of those charges of polygamous marriage and child labor laws.
Oh, why did he?
I have to pull up my photos right now.
Is this an email you got or?
This is some stuff that I talked to some people. Hold on.
And that this is you said this is going back to
I can't find the screenshot, but he had to change the venue. The change
What do you mean?
Because his attorney applied for a change of venue, which means he felt that his client could not get a fair trial in that town because everybody is prejudiced against the cult.
Gotcha.
And I said before, this place you have to travel 3 hours, north, south, east, or west, to get to a town that's any bigger than a tumbleweed.
Okay.
And so here we are moving the venue 3 hours, okay? And they're located in the 40 acres are located in a very poor county. And because he had the venue moved, all of the witnesses couldn't afford to go and testify.
No.
And the county was too poor to have transportation and put them in a hotel for the night.
Get out. That's why.
That's why he got most of the charges dropped, because everybody couldn't get there to testify because he moved the venue 3 hours away. His attorney did.
What a piece of shit.
Yep. Hey, you know what? Kudos to, the attorney for being tactical, that he's paid to keep his client out of jail. And that's exactly what he did, by dirty means.
Wow.
By dirty means.
Wow.
I mean, it's really not dirty means if you can't get a fair trial, but he knew he was going to lose.
It was legal. I mean, what he did was unfortunately legal.
He made it so that the people that were going to testify couldn't afford to get there to freaking